consequence. Now, a consequence is a fact. In other words, I stand here and I look at this room, and I have knowledge. My knowledge allows me to understand people, tables, chairs, architectural structures. I specialize in 115 different fields, being an engineer, background, metallurgy, heat treat specialist, chemist, biotech, medical fields. I understand medical fields. I can look at every part of this building. I'm a master mason, bricklayer, concrete, lay tile, carpeting, 6,000 yards. I hold knowledge of 180 different fibers used in carpeting. Chemistry to put those things together, what your clothes are made out of, cotton, wool, polyester, rayon, all the different combinations of that. Whether it be the coefficient of expansion, allows me the metals, gases, chemicals from all the different parts of the periodic table and how they're used to create different elements. I was the cook for Chemtron electrodes, made super metals, stuff that never was ever heard of before. 1988, I wrote the math interface on all metals. Was called the polymer technology, proving that all metal is plastic, that all glass is plastic, that all plastic is plastic. And so the consequences of having knowledge creates a cause. As we get older, we acquire more and more knowledge, which allows us to understand the consequences of the facts. The third thing we're going to do is we're going to think. Thinking, I'll put that in ing. Thinking is a verb, which is motion. Now, running is not a verb. Jumping is not a verb. Driving is not a verb. And thinking, you have to think before you can do all these things. Order of operations, folks. You always have to follow the order of operations to have a legal contract. Even writing a sentence. Writing a sentence is not see the pen. See is a pronoun, the is an adverb, making pen a verb. That's a second grade reader. See the ball. See Jack run. See is an adverb, making now run to Jack to be an adjective of the word run, which is a pronoun, which means nothing. You see, these are first grade readers. They're a complete lie. Don't get your kids tied up in that. You want to teach them how to read? Go to my website. That'll really fry them. 4, when you think, okay, we look, this is, we'll put this to be sight, or see. You see stuff, and you need a see see treaty. You need a SEA pass. Sea pass means that you can move a vessel in a sea of space. So when you have knowledge, you have these positions that you're going to see and absorb points of information. You hear points of information. You're using your 5 senses to absorb information. And with that information, we then store it as a computer. So the consequences is a storage. Just like a computer. And we keep all this information in until we're asked a question. Then you go into motion, just like when you enter in the keyboard. You might put stuff in, it's going to store it. When you want it out, you hit enter, ask it a question, you hit enter, and it does a search. It goes thinking, and now gives you a claim. With is a possession. Possessive, which becomes your claim. Now, claims are, you only have 2 different things. You either have a plus or a minus. You're either going to have an award, not award, you're going to have a value. See, the word A means no award, W-A-R-D. Award. Now, the word award is because the contract is written in adverb verb, means you get nothing. You might get a future tense, futuristic Federal Reserve note. Or you might get a promise, pay to, in future time, which is a pronoun adverb scenario. But you don't have any now time facts. So therefore, with the possessive, you possess a claim. The claim has to be defined. So we're going to go here 5 of the contract. Now the contract has to be of the contract terms. Number 6 is with the correct sentence structure, communication, parse, syntax, grammar. Okay, what does that mean? Well, there's a thing, you hear the word right, you hear the word truth. Truth is an opinion, by the way. Everybody believes in God, that's your truth, but that truth is based on your opinion of subjective interpretation, so therefore truth is an opinion. And O means no, and PIN means to attach, and ION is contract. So you have no attached contract because your subjective interpretation of your ability to communicate with any other individual is based on that other person's ability to understand what you're saying in the first place, which is babble. Because it's all adverb-verb scenario. Now, I may be talking to you in adverb-verb because that's the only language you understand. If I stood up here and talked to you and for this knowledge of this individual is with the claim of the correct parse, syntax, grammar, start using prepositional phrases, this would not jar well with your perception. And you'd kind of get lost. So it takes about 200 hours to adapt to this technology. And you will get a migraine headache because you're all brainwashed not to see an article. You might think that's a joke. It's not. Sublimic messaging through TV, radio, newspapers and magazines, school books have been there your whole life, right in front of you. We hide it in plain view, just like we hide a flag in plain view, and we cancel this contract by putting a Coke can on top of the staff, which is a phoenix in this case. If the wingtips are down, it's a phoenix. If they're up, it's an eagle, which is postal. So you can either be under postal guise or you can be under the Vatican guise. Either way, you're under somebody's guise, G-U-I-S-E. It's not a disguise, it's a guise, G-U-I-S-E. Dis meaning no, guys. This means no, by the way. Finally, number 7 is by the author. Authority. Authentic. Authorization. And what's the symbol for gold on the periodic table? AU. He who holds the gold makes the rules, has the authority. Ever wonder why gold was the key? Why it was AU and not something else? Because gold is spelled G-O-L-D, not AU, but AU is authority. And throughout history, gold has been the medium, going all the way back to the beginning. About 8,500 years ago, they decided that gold, because of its beauty and both its ability to withstand tarnishment, would be used as a standard metal on this planet. It's also an industrial metal because gold is a molecule that you can make a 128 gigabyte circuit board on a 20 nano chip. And a single atom of gold can be a transistor, a capacitor, a diode, based on its configuration and where it appears in the circuit board. They would build a circuit board against that wall with 128 gigabytes of information on it, and then photocopy it onto a 20 nano chip, and then grow that in a cloud chamber of argon. And that's how they would build those chips. So that's how technology, and then he's just stack them together. Everything's done with laser welding, electron beam welding, because the computers are unique. They build themselves now. A 1/4 inch green 1/4 inch quartz crystal run by 2 green holographic lasers are an 800 gigabyte processor with a 64 terabyte memory capacity. Speed of light is 186,000 miles per second. Information is recorded inside a quartz crystal. Our human brain is a 500 terabyte capacitor. That's what you're rated for, 500 terabytes. And these little puppies are only 1/4 inch, and they have thousands of 1 full square inch, which are 64 times 64, which would be 3,600 trillion capacity per crystal. And they have thousands of these banks of information run on green holographic lasers. Computers are building computers today. They have advanced, we've had artificial intelligence to make determinations about what a lawsuit is and how it's run at the United States Supreme Court for 12 years now. About 2000s when they implemented the artificial intelligence to make decisions. And when the computer figures out that we're the virus, enough said about that. So, these are the parts of what a sentence is. Now, a sentence has to be written frontwards and backwards. If you notice, we have for of, is, with of, with, by. Now, after the with of, we can have as many of these, like I have one sentence in the book, last page of the book here. This is my book. It's 96 pages long. It's written in 9-point print. It's the only book in the world that's written in quantum language. I have no competition. I have no plagiarizers anywhere on the planet. It's kind of unique to be one source of 8 billion people and nobody's giving me any competition. I have a monopoly on this thing, virtually. And it isn't because I have a monopoly, it's because it's so unique. The condition of math, the condition of a fact in a world of 8 billion fictions is so unique that it stands alone and there's no plagiarizing. All the judges, all the attorneys on planet Earth in all languages have been ordered to search history. Go into the archives of written history going back 8,500 years. Is this an original program? The answer was yes. This whole thing is 100% original. That there's never been anything like it on the planet for communication skills. So the books took me, this is 8,000 hours or 80,000 hours of my work put in 96 pages. This is part of it. All the new stuff is updated on the internet, on my website. But this gives you about an 80% solid base that you can hold in your hand and read. And it takes about 200 hours. I charge $200 for the books because they're the only ones like it on the planet. There's no competition for it. So they're very unique. People that have them guard them. They don't treat them like garbage, like the local newspaper, because when you put value on something, it becomes valuable. If I gave you this marker, you'd use it, put it down, and walk away. If I charge you $200 for this marker, you'd put it in a glass jar, put it up on your fireplace, and say, "That's valuable." Because of what it means to you. Education is the same way. You go to college and you pay for an education, you put value on it, you stay awake in class. If somebody else gives you a scholarship and your schooling is free, you sleep through class. Or you put a tape recorder and say,